Hey sitters, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, we'll be talking about holistic sleep support. What is it, and how as sitters can we support mom and dad who are using the method? We're going to be talking to Mallory over Zoom because unfortunately we are in two different states, so let's get into it.
So this is Mallory. Mallory, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are?
Hi, everyone. So I am a holistic sleep practitioner, also known as a sleep specialist or even a sleep coach. A bunch of different titles, but they're all the same. And what I do is I help moms with their babies or toddlers, whether it's naps or bedtime, just having the whole family have support with sleep. I have a few different certifications. I have my bachelor's in education as well as a baby-led sleep certification that I recently received from Isla Grace Sleep.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So I have a couple questions that we're going to go through. My first question is, what is it? So I know you said it is sleep. It's helping the baby fall asleep quicker. Am I right?
So it's basically supporting the parent or the caregiver if their child is not really able to have a good night's sleep, if they feel like it's a problem or an issue where their baby's waking frequently, if they're having very short naps, and just giving the family that support so that they can help their relationship with their child. And once we've built that relationship and that connection, I'm able to support them with the sleep.
My family that I babysit for is using the sleep method or the sleep training method, where it's a cry it out. They leave them in the crib and the little boy cries it out for however long until he falls back asleep. That is not what you do, correct? You do the opposite?
Yes, so I basically do the opposite of that. And so I first want to say whatever is working for that family, if they are choosing to do cry it out or sleep training, if they are making that informed decision, then that's working. That's great. I'm here to help if things aren't working. And, if a mom has, whether she's tried sleep training or she's saying, I just can't even think about having my baby cry,
Yeah.
it's more of following your biological instincts and doing and understanding what is normal infant sleep. And once you understand the science behind sleep, you're able to really help your child or help the child you're babysitting.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
so you definitely want to make sure you know what the parents want first. You don't want to just come in and take over. If the mom wants the baby to cry it out, you don't want to say, well, I'm not going to do that. You want to know what the parents want, and then you want to proceed with what they're already doing and be consistent. But as far as what I do, it's the opposite of it's a lot of attachment and helping with less separation.
My next question is, why do you think families choose the holistic sleep support method over any other?
I'm finding that more parents now, once they try it or they find out about the holistic sleep approach, they're, oh my gosh, I can do it without making my baby cry. I can hold them, I can look at them, I can rock them, I can sing to them. I don't have to put them down and put headphones in. And it's becoming really something where when a parent knows this is an option, they're like jumping for joy and wanting to try this approach because it just feels like they're following their heart and it's what they naturally want to do.
So as a babysitter, how can I support, or how can these babysitters go in and support? What can they do to help mom and dad?
So if you're on the same page with mom and dad and you know what their strategies are and they are the holistic attachment approach, then there's a few different things that you can do. But first and foremost, making sure that you're on the same page and that you are following what the parents want, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is just bridging that separation. And so if the child does wake up and they are crying and they need you, you can come into the room. I have a lot of sleep courses where they'll explain to the parents how you can soothe the child, how you're able to put them back to rest, and a couple reasons why they might wake up, and then some solutions of how to get them to sleep, such as they might just need their pacifier. They might just need some more milk if their belly's empty, or they might just need you to hold them and realize, oh, you're right there. Okay, I thought I was alone. So it could be just something so simple as just rocking them back to sleep.
My next question is, are these techniques used during nap time too, or is it just during bedtime?
Yes, you want to be consistent with the same techniques. Obviously, you're not going to give them a bath right before every nap, and you may not have time for a book, but in general, the same techniques that you're using for nap will be used for bedtime. So if you put the white noise on, if you maybe read them a little story, if you, dim the lights, or you have blackout curtains, or whatever that environment is, you're going to want to continue using that same environment, because it's any time that they're sleeping, whether it's just a nap or it's going down for the night for bedtime. You're going to want to continue to use those same strategies.
If the nap schedule is off, if I don't get them to bed on time for nap, will that affect bedtime or their sleep during their nap or the sleep during the night?
Yes, that is a very good question. I get a lot from parents. And normally when I first get a phone consultation, it's about naps and how it's affecting when they go down for bed. So you want to make sure that you're aware of what's called their wake windows. And that is going to vary based on the baby or child's age. And so once you're aware of their wake windows, and you'll be able to ask the parent as well, because you might have a wake window in the morning when they wake up wake windows the time that they're awake. So the first wake window is from the time that they wake up to the start of their first nap. And that might be for a 7-month-old, an hour and a half. And then they wake up from their nap, and their next wake window, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be an hour and a half. It might be 2.5 hours. So you want to know when those wake windows are based off of the guidelines that we have for the child's age.
Okay.
Okay, it's been 2 hours. Their wake window for their second nap, right before their second nap, is 2 hours. We're still at the park. I still have to drive back home, change their diaper, give them a snack. They're going to be overtired. What's going to happen? They're going to really be fighting that nap and be really fussy, and they may not go down for that nap for a long time. And therefore that kind of trickles into the whole rest of the day everything's kind of pushed back. And so you don't want an overtired baby, but then also if you aren't paying attention to the wake windows and you just put them down for a nap and they're undertired, they're just going to sit there for 40 minutes because they're like, I'm not tired yet. Their sleep pressure has set in. So if you're aware of the wake windows and you can keep track of that, okay, this is when they normally should be going to sleep, let me get them ready. Then by the time it's their bedtime, you'll know, okay, this last wake window, say, is 3 hours. Well, they're still sleeping. If I don't get them up pretty shortly, they're not going to have a 3-hour wake window where there's enough sleep pressure for them to sleep at 7:30 p.m. So you really want to be aware of those wake windows and just really be consistent with, okay, make sure that they're up at these certain times. Otherwise, they're not going to be tired enough.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm sure you've heard of the old wise tale that says you never wake a sleeping baby. Should I wake them if they're going into that wake window that they need for bedtime?
Yes, it really depends. You want to have a little bit of a leeway and make sure that the parents are aware to let you know if there is a schedule that the baby's on. But if there isn't a set schedule and say that they go to bed at, for example, 7:30 p.m., and you get to their house maybe around 4 and the baby's still sleeping, for example. Or maybe you're babysitting and you're with them all day, but that their bedtime starts at 7:30. So you want to look at the age of that baby to find out when that wake window is, because if they don't get up from that nap, say that they get up at 6 p.m. from that nap, it's like, okay, you were supposed to have, say, a 3-hour wake window. You only have an hour and a half. You are not going to be tired by 7:30. And then that whole bedtime is going to be horrible for both of you. So they won't be tired because they just slept way past. So you just want to be aware of those wake windows. And if you don't wake them for that certain circumstance, then they aren't going to be tired when it is actually bedtime.
So if they do go down to bed later, say they did get up at 6:30, so that puts them back at 8:30, maybe even 9 o'clock before they actually go to bed. Will they sleep through the night, or is that are they going to be up and down throughout the night just because they're off schedule?
Yeah, so if they're used to somewhat of a schedule, I don't like to use the word schedule just because, not every parent's comfortable with a set schedule, especially if you have a newborn. Don't even talk about schedule. But I mean, I'm really talking about more so the very last wake window. If it's just throughout their first nap and their second nap, okay, let them sleep however long they need to, depending on their age. It's probably going to be 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours. But for that last wake window, you want to look, because then when they wake up, the next time is their bedtime. But as far as, is it going to mess up them sleeping through the night? I mean, no baby really sleeps through the night. Adults don't even sleep through the night. Sometimes I wake up if my covers aren't on me and I wake up to pull them back on, or I need a drink of water. But I feel that whatever's working for that family, whether it's my baby has a long stretch of sleeping 6 hours and then they wake up every couple hours, or if they're waking up every 3 hours, whatever's working for that parent, that would be the norm for them. When it becomes a problem of they're waking every hour, or what's one person's problem may not be another person's problem. But once it becomes a problem and the family's having a hard time with it, that's when I come in, and that's when I'm able to help them set up that schedule that you're talking about, because yes, it can affect throughout the night. It's going to take them a long time in this situation we're talking about. It's going to take them a long time to get to bed. Once they've gone to bed, it probably won't mess up the rest of their normal sleep. It's just that initial, now they're not tired. But once they've gone to bed, it's probably going to be their normal sleep, just based off what we're talking about now.
Okay. So what are some tips that you could give babysitters or even parents that could help their kids have a positive association with sleep?
Just make sure that they gain a lot of knowledge and understanding behind the science of attachment and understanding infant normal sleep, and really understanding what the biological norm is for babies as well as toddlers, because at such a young age, within the first few years of their life, they're really wired, and you want them to have that positive, peaceful association when it's time for bedtime. You don't want them to be stressed or have fear that, my mom's not coming back. But the main thing is just understanding the science behind sleep. And I would tell parents and babysitters, just to continue to stay educated, because the first few years of their life, it wires how they'll become in adulthood. And you don't want them to associate sleep with stress. That can release the cortisol hormone. And that is just not good, because that does the opposite of what you want them to do at night. You want them to be calm and relax and enjoy sleep.
So sitters, obviously there's a lot of information, and you should try and do some of your own research and support those parents as much as you can. I will link Mallory's information down in the description box below. You can go check her out. Thank you, Mallory, for your information and your time. And we probably will do this again sometime soon.
Thank you so much for having me, and I love all that you do to help support babysitters and parents, and of course babies and children. So thank you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Well, sitters, I hope you found some of this information helpful. If you guys have any questions for her or for me, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if you want me to do any more topics with her, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.